Just last week, our camera was at James Monroe High School for the unveiling of a mural. It depicts two students and features a quote from the school body president. Behind this was Sarah Rutherford, but it's her work outside the school that's the subject of a PBS documentary and might grow into a national project. I sat down with her in her studio to talk about the project called Her Voice Carries and her painted path leading up to it. You're taking portraits of women and putting them on walls in different cities. Some of the women without a link to that city. What's the goal in that, both nationally and internationally? So my intention was, starting Her Voice Carries in Rochester. It was really my love letter to the city. The city has given me so much in terms of my artistic growth and process and support. So I really wanted to start it here. So when I started it, I chose 5 women living in 5 different areas of the city, and I intentionally painted them in a different area than where they were from. And that was that idea of really wanting people to travel and see all of the murals and think about the murals as a whole instead of these individual parts and individual spaces. So when I thought about translating it to the national scale, I wanted to take that idea with me. So instead of bringing a woman from one neighborhood to the next neighborhood, I'm bringing a woman from one city to the next city, and then so forth. You're from Boston originally. You thought, like so many artists, New York City is where you're going to make it big, and yet it was here in Rochester that you found your inspiration and the opportunity. When I moved here, it was just so amazing to be able to waitress, 3-4 days a week to survive, have all this other time to be able to produce the work that I wanted to produce, and find an amazing community of people who were equally excited about it. Really finding your network and your community is so empowering. So that was what was really amazing about moving here. What I like about your work with children is it's not just a seminar. You just don't go in for a day, talk to them. But with Rock Paint Division, it's an internship. This is a long process. Yeah, Rock Paint Division is a job. So we're hiring these youth. A lot of time it's their first job that they've ever had, and they're getting paid to make murals. So I think what's really powerful about that is really informing youth that this can be a career and that you should be paid and your time and energy and talents are worth something, like monetarily, which sometimes I think that conversation gets left out with art. What I like about murals is it openly acknowledges the fact that everything really is temporary. You go into a museum and they act like this is going to be around forever. Do you kind of sense like this is nature is eventually, the weather is eventually going to take care of this? I think that mural work is temporary in many ways, and I think because of that there's a lot of power. It can be really agile, it can be very responsive to what's happening in the moment, and anytime people get too caught up in, oh, this has to be relevant 50 years from now, I just offer up, this is just paint. You can paint over it, you can paint another one. Like, we don't need to be so tied to these things as precious, and really more understanding that they're part of the moment that we're in. And I think that's the power that murals have. On that same note, that's why I was so excited that the film was made about the project here in Rochester, though, because the film will live on way beyond these murals. So, so I find mural work can be like a really great gateway into other mediums, other kind of ways of affecting people, but obviously visually it's such a large, impactful thing that it can be that initial gateway. Because Sarah is who she is, she wanted me to recognize 2 of her companions involved in Rock Paint Division, Justin Suarez and Brittany Williams. I'm going to have some links and social media handles attached to this story in the Adam interview section of RochesterFirst.com shortly. If you want to learn more about how you can help out with this national project, help get it off the ground, well, you'll be able to follow those links.